What we are adding to the soil here is we're getting our core minerals of carbon and from our composts. So we're putting in worm compost and our standard 28-day compost. So we're putting in a lot of composted manure, a lot of composted carbon and a lot of micronutrients. We're then going to add to this water and we're going to put our mulch on to trap the water in. Now, when we've got those basic minerals of carbon and nitrogen, and we can generate life, microbiology, the dead microbiology starts to form humus. Humus is acidic in nature, and it starts to allow the soil to clump together these soil clumps because it's like a gluey acidic substance that can combine the minerals together and make these little soil clumps that are now high in humus and they're spongy. So when it rains, the soil clumps will absorb the water like a sponge. And if you've got gaps between the soil clumps, you have air pockets where the roots and worms can live. But the roots, if you see these soil clumps, you can see the roots will enter these little soil clumps, which are like housing commission flats, billions and billions of bacteria, which they're acidic, that is binding the minerals of the soil. And the acidic nature of it is dissolving the minerals into the water that's absorbed into this. So this is a spongy, acidic, nutrient creation factory. So the moisture and the acidic nature of the dead microbes, the humus, is dissolving the minerals and making them water soluble so that the roots have access to them. So when we have a soil that's full of soil clumps, we have lots of sponges, lots of factories that are producing minerals and holding water, and lots of gaps between them, so we have water and air. So if we have just a sand, or if we don't have these humus spongy clumps, and there's too much drainage, when it rains, we get it flooded and then the water runs away and it's dry. If we have a mixture of air pockets and soil clumps with humus-rich soil, when it rains, these all absorb the water, it's safe from evaporation, and the garden holds the water runs away between them, so it's very quickly got water and oxygen, and you need both. So quite often soil that isn't alive has flood and drought. The rain hits it, floods it, and kills things, and then it washes away, and then things go from too wet and drowning to then dehydrated and dying. We want to get the soil so rich, ideally with feet and feet of this sort of stuff, so that one rain event can hold water for weeks. We don't have that here yet. We've only got maybe 20 centimetres of this quality soil, so we will have to irrigate. But a good garden will grow this with the right practices and keeping this alive. Every year, the humus level will get deeper and deeper. The topsoil level will get deeper and deeper. We're going to put a garlic crop in here. As soon as we harvest the garlic crop, we're going to put in a green manure cover crop, which is a hardy plant that will punch down and penetrate a bit more into the clay and generate a bit more living microbes in the soil. Now, whenever we put a plant in the soil, whether it's an eggplant or the garlic or a tree, the majority of the energy of that plant, look at that tree, right? Look at the solar panels of the greenery on it, that chlorophyll rich, that is taking the sun and through the process of photosynthesis creating all sorts of nutrients. The majority of those nutrients are getting fed into the soil to grow the microbes. A plant will select the microbes that give it the nutrients it needs and feed them. The plant grows the soil. So we're providing the starter motor here. We're providing a little bit to get it going.
Yeah, Rick, so
if that life is in the soil, the garlic itself will take that life and feed it, develop it, and turn this to garlic suitable soil. Does that make sense? So as an organic gardener, organic is short for organisms, we are respecting, most of our work is to get a sense for this being a living substrate, a living life support system, giving birth or maintaining the life in this, and then maintaining it in a way that the plants themselves can take over and develop it. All right, let's go.